Good afternoon, Deputy Chief Timothy Smith of the Falmouth Fire and Rescue Department. We just wanted to discuss hurricane preparedness since that we are currently in the hurricane season. Falmouth being a seaside community, hurricanes are of special concern to us because of the strength of the storms that are generated. The hurricane season generally from spring through fall. Our local emergency preparedness committee discusses issues regarding storms, and in particular, since we're talking about hurricanes, we discuss those each month at our monthly meetings. There is a website through the town of Falmouth, specifically with the fire department and local emergency preparedness, that has a very good outline of all the information that you should be concerned with, helpful hints about what is needed by you and your family to prepare should a storm be approaching us. We recommend that you look at the website, you go online, you look at preparedness for hurricanes, but some of the more common sense things that you should worry about is that if you know that a storm is approaching, that you should make sure that you have enough food supplies, that you have gasoline in your vehicle, that you're full, because obviously if power goes out, you're not going to be able to get any fuel for your vehicles. Power goes out, and it's going to affect your home, especially your refrigerator. So a lot of the dry goods that you can purchase that aren't refrigerated are good as part of your supply. You should have medical supplies, good first aid kit. Really importantly too, common sense, everybody knows, but you should have plenty of flashlights and plenty of batteries to go along with your battery-powered equipment. If you have a generator, it's very important that your generator is serviced annually and that you are very familiar with its operation. Make sure you have enough fuel for your generator as well. And if you are using a generator that's a portable one, you cannot operate it in your home. Generators give off exhaust, and exhaust for us are generate carbon monoxide, and that can be a very deadly situation if you are running it indoors. So please be familiar with running your generator and follow the manufacturer's recommendations, and also keep it outside. That goes for gas-powered stoves, charcoal-powered stoves, anything that generates any type of exhaust that can produce carbon monoxide. You need to keep it out of your home. Also, the closer you are to the coastline, the more concerns you have with flooding if you're near, especially if you're in a low-lying area. So make sure that all your valuables and all your paperwork, the important legal documents and such, are all stored in good waterproof containers and are not in the floodplain. Also, as a storm approaches, you need to really stay tuned to the local weather channels, and NOAA is a very good site to pay attention to. They give a lot of good information, very accurate, up-to-date information regarding the track of the storm, and you should prepare. You should not wait to the last minute if there's any emergency evacuation warnings that have been put out. The Cape, because of its uniqueness, having 2 bridges, there are emergency evacuation routes, and if we were to have mandatory evacuations off of the Cape, you need to follow local instructions so that there's an orderly evacuation off the Cape. If you do stay and the storm isn't as intense and you can stay, you need to stay in your home during the storm or be in a very safe area, and you need to hunker down. From a fire department standpoint, as somebody that's worked through most of the storms for the last 30 years, the one thing that you need to do is to stay indoors, and this is before, during, and after the storm. Worst thing that happens for us after the impact of a storm, we have a lot of people that like to go out doing sightseeing. When you do that, you're driving in areas that can hinder emergency response for the public safety personnel. That includes the police. You're clogging the roads, and we need to have the roads passable for us. And also, there's a lot of debris, which is very dangerous, and you can put yourself in harm's way. During the storms, the public safety employees, are concerned about making sure that they're in a safe environment, and we don't want to be trying to go after somebody that's put themselves in a position that they shouldn't have been in the first place. So please stay in until you're given the all clear. Be patient. During a lot of the storms that we have, everybody's very concerned about getting their power back on and having utilities restored to their home, whether it's phone or cable. You need to make sure that, you know, that you just stay patient, because it's, you know, if you're impacted, so is everybody else, especially on a large scale. This past winter, we had some significant storms that put us out of power for several days, and working in the Emergency Operations Center here at the fire station, the primary call that we get from everybody is when's power coming back on. If it's a large storm and there's massive damage, you can rest assured that they're working on it, but you can bet that the power is going to be delayed, because they have to get the primary areas up and running to ensure that you know, the main areas are up and running first. So you know, it's all about educating yourself. There are handouts and emergency preparedness information that's available at the fire station. The fire chief and his administrative secretary oversee the operations of the local emergency preparedness committee. They can be contacted, and they can provide extra information as well, but certainly come by the station. Look at the website if you need to brush up on any information. It's all there. The last thing I wanted to tell everybody is also about shelters. If shelters are open, the shelter in the town of Falmouth is the Falmouth High School, and it's open when a decision is made on a regional basis to open that shelter, and then notices will be put out, and there are, again, you can look at your local community cable television channel, and they will have information that runs along the little ticklers there, and they can get the information. We'll have all the phone numbers available. You know, make sure your cell phones are all up and running too. And if they don't open up the shelter, some in town, they may have little stations that are open up available that they have generator power, such as the rec center or town hall, and you can go there and charge your phone as well. So again, don't wait till the last minute to understand what's necessary during hurricane season and what you need to do. If it's going to impact us, got to pay attention. And the one thing that we know nowadays is that any storm that develops somewhere, you know, down south from us, we have several days of notice. So it shouldn't be surprised if a hurricane was coming this way and was going to impact our area, because we've known about it for several days. So please be safe, please educate yourself, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to come by the fire station, and we can provide more information for you. So thank you.